It's the NeverEnding Story. I love the scat quality to this movie. It's like it's a cruel summer.
There it is.
Same
Mashup.
Say it, yeah.
Sure.
Some DJ has 100% matched those two.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
If it hasn't happened yet,
I would put my life on
if
it.
it hasn't happened yet, I want royalties because that is a easy quality mash we can make. Listeners, welcome back to Summers Off. This is episode 5.
Wow.
This is the halfway point.
Cruising.
We're here.
We did it.
Yep.
Thank
and
God.
Hopefully you've rated or reviewed this podcast. And
Otherwise,
if you haven't,
what are you doing?
I'm going to send Falkor after you. And he's going to chase you down until you jump into a trash can.
Now, Falkor is
My luck dragon.
the lucky dragon that looks like
he's
a
not
dog.
a lucky dragon. He's the luck
dragon.
No,
Luck.
he's a luck dragon.
A luck
His
dragon.
name he's not Falkor Luck Dragon.
Falkor, a luck dragon.
The luck dragon.
The luck dragon.
I don't know.
It's still the.
I only know one, so he's the.
Yeah,
for
there
me.
weren't multiple luck dragons.
When I meet another luck dragon, I'll change him into a Falkor, a luck dragon. But for now, he's the luck dragon for me.
Very good.
And you made a point to mention that he looks just like our dog, Penny.
He's got his hair just like her with the ears.
Yeah, he's got big old floppy ears.
His face, not so much. Penny has a much sweeter face, but
Mm-hmm.
long body and long ears. Look just like my Penny.
And we've got a lot to talk about with Falkor. Don't worry. He pretty much gets his own section. We'll probably talk about him for at least 30 minutes.
What is there to talk about this?
We just have to do a deep dive into the lore.
The lore?
I want the origin story.
Oh.
Was he born from an egg? Was he born from another luck dragon? Was he created by the stars?
Oh, okay. What? That's
Was
an
he
option?
was he the manifestation of everyone in Fantasia's hopes and dreams? These are all questions that have to be decided.
Do we have to
today
ask
on the
them all?
podcast?
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. All right, great.
By the time we end it,
Yay.
I want the world to know.
Let's decide.
So, Rach, before we get into your summary of NeverEnding Story, why don't you give me your summary that you told me about NeverEnding Story before this movie started up? I said to Rach, I turned to Rach and I go, "Hey, Rach, what's this movie about? Do you know anything?" And you're like, "Yeah, I know a little bit." And I was like, "What do you know? What do you know about this movie?" Thinking she was going to say, "I know about the flying dog, and I know something about a book." That's where I thought she was going. This is what she said instead. Go ahead, Rach.
Such a good impression. Yeah, I know a little bit.
I know a little bit.
It's
And
like...
you said, no, you said more than that. I know a little bit. Enough to make me dangerous. And in my head, after hearing it, I was like, you are not dangerous.
So, you guys, I totally mishmashed this movie with Labyrinth.
Wait, no. Just tell him
sorry.
just tell him what you said.
Yeah, I
You
said...
mishmashed it with a couple things.
things.
So tell him
more
everything
than one.
you said.
I said, I know that Jennifer Connelly is in this. I also know that David Bowie is in this. And there's some Muppets. And maybe Jim Henson's a part of it. I don't know.
But then you said this other thing, too.
What was my other thing?
You said something about a grandpa.
Oh, I said, like, that was a question, like, does this have a grandpa reading the story to the kid at the beginning again, like Fred Savage? Like, I knew that was Princess Bride, but I was like, does this have the same, like, premise? Is this also going to be a kid reading a story? Which it was.
So she's pretty much blended Princess Bride in with Labyrinth and created a brand new thing.
But I did know the dog.
Called it NeverEnding Story.
I did recognize the dog dragon.
Yeah, the luck dragon.
Yeah, I knew him.
He's not a dog, Rach. The author of the original book would get super pissed if you called this a dog.
Well, don't make him look like a dog.
Well, we'll get into that.
With those ears.
That'll be part of our 30-minute deep dive.
Scratches his ears like a dog.
So, Rach, now that we know what NeverEnding Story is not,
Yeah. It is not any of the things I have aforementioned.
do you want to tell them what it is?
Okay. Well, what it is, we are still reading the book in present time.
Mm-hmm.
The book being read by a little boy, also kind of like a Fred Savage situation.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, he finds this book. He steals this book from a bookstore from an old man who's tells him, "Don't read this book. This one's dangerous."
Yeah, this one won't let you just sit back and read it, kid. You will have to be a part of the story. You don't want this one.
The ones you read are safe.
And that one isn't?
So, of course, he steals it.
And then the bookkeeper looks out and he smiles. He's like, yeah, he stole it. He did exactly what I wanted him to.
He flailed right into my trap. And then the boy then proceeds to skip his whole day of school and hide out in the sweet attic of the school, which looked like that of like an old 1800s building, an old mansion.
Amazing attic.
So many taxidermy and human remains were in this attic. It's weird.
It's cool.
Very scary, creepy, but awesome place to hang out.
Crazy vaulted ceiling though.
Amazing vaulted ceiling.
It was amazing.
It was really good
really
space. Cool. And then he reads this book all day. It takes him all day to read it. He must be a slow reader. And
that's funny because I actually wrote down, this kid's so freaking cooking on this book. He got to school late, so I'm guessing like 10 o'clock. He gets in, he sees there's a math test. He's like, screw this. I'm going to go to the attic and read. He starts eating lunch, and he's like, oh, yeah, but can't eat too much. We got a long journey ahead of us. And he's already half done with the book. But then, so he read half the book in like the first 3 hours, and then he slowed down immensely. He was at halfway in the book. I would chart this book progress, the entire movie. He was at halfway for like the next 6 hours until it started to get dark. And then he started to get farther in the book. So he slowed way down. He lost his momentum.
Which the movie did too, so that makes sense why that would have happened. But he follows the story of this land that is getting eaten up by what we would call the nothing. Did I use that right? The nothing, the not existing. And it's just this big, like, different colored storm clouds just rolling in, eating up stuff and ruining everything. It's like a black hole.
Yeah,
basically comes to swallow up this fantasy land, and the only person who can save them is the Empress. Oh, psych, she's dying, but the only one who can save her is this other little boy who can go and get the cure. Oh, psych, who really can save him is the human boy.
The boy who's reading the book.
The boy who's reading the book.
Which is
Drop the fourth wall. What?
It is a pretty cool premise. Like the whole idea of like he's just reading the book, and then all of a sudden the people in the book keep acknowledging him. It's like,
he's
whoa.
Like, they can't be talking about me.
Are you talking about me, Botch? Yeah, it's pretty wild.
They couldn't hear me. That's impossible.
So I saw this movie at a very, very young age, like probably 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very young.
Very
You're
young.
a baby.
I was a baby, and I thought it was a little scary.
Yep, I could see that.
It was a little sad. We'll get into it. And it was a little awesome. This one was like a really wild experience at a very young age. I mean, there's just a lot of shit going on.
It's
short.
It's wild that you saw this at this young.
It's like an hour and 25 minutes, but it like feels like there's a lot of weird existential shit packed into it.
I don't know if we're gonna give it that much credit.
I mean, I talked about
existential.
This feels like a little bit of a drug trip.
Which you know all about now, I guess, as an adult. You didn't
No,
know that as
I don't, because I don't know if anybody listened to the last episode. I've seen Requiem for a Dream, so I actually don't know about drug trips, Rach. You'd have to tell everybody because you haven't seen the movie.
I guess I would, because I learned not to say no.
Yeah. So just like all of my movies this year, this one's a book. 3 for 3. Lord of the Rings, Time to
Wow.
Kill. Now this.
Welcome to the literary life, my
Yep.
friend. What do you think? Do you like it?
I like it. I feel very cultured.
Yeah.
I feel like I should put a monocle on and have a bubble pipe. Like, it feels like I'm in a new
It
territory
feels
right
good,
now.
doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome.
Pretty awesome. The book comes out in 1979, and it is a German book. And it is
didn't see that coming.
it's a phenom.
Truly.
Phenom of a book.
Phenom?
#1 in Germany,
What
#1
year?
bestseller on all the charts, 1979. Written by a felon by the name of Michael Indy. He's going to be in and out of our story as we talk today. And it comes out. It takes the world by storm in Germany. Like, they're Harry Potter
Takes
almost.
Germany by storm.
It takes the world of Germany by storm.
There.
And it is like their Lord of the Rings, their Harry Potter. They're like just crazy about it. They're like, oh, we love this. This is so good. And then the book starts to get a little bit of controversy, though, because it like different sides of political factions pick it up, and the like anti-industrialists and like the climate folks are like, yeah, this is a great book. We got to get back to nature, get back to our roots and fantasy and the past and everything. And then the capitalists are like, no, F this stupid kids book. So it becomes as part of this culture war at the beginning of the 80s that is happening in Germany, and it all circles around NeverEnding Story.
Wow.
And
Catalyst.
Michael Indy he's not a very political person. He did not want it to be a political book.
Okay.
And was like kind of upset that it became this like anti-industrialist versus capitalist kind of war that was happening. But he sells the rights to this book for $50,000 and starts adapting this bad boy with the director, Wolfgang. Of course, he's German. Wolfgang Peterson.
Wolfgang Peterson.
Oh, it's Wolfgang Peterson, I see.
Is Peterson German?
I don't know. My buddy Paul Peterson's Polish, so I don't know. But he lived in Germany. And he probably fit right in.
Probably.
With all the Wolfgangs. So Wolfgang Peterson directed a movie by the name of Das Boot, which got up.
Wait, Das Boot, like the drinking game Das Boot?
Yeah, you would.
Is that what it's about?
You definitely could go that route if you would like to. Yes.
Oh, gosh.
It's called Das Boot, and it was all about life in a German U-boat.
Oh,
And
okay.
it came out in 1981, and it actually was up for an Oscar. So this is an
snap.
Oscar-nominated director who, being a German, which is kind of like interesting that he got nominated in the States, but he's going to take on this movie, and it becomes the most expensive film in German history. It cost $27 million to do. They make it in both German and in English.
Wow.
Double whammy. They dub different parts of the movie. Now, could you tell which parts were dubbed in English?
I wasn't paying attention so closely. If you played it for me, I'm sure I could pick it up. But just specific parts were dubbed?
Yeah. So the like creatures, almost all are dubbed.
Okay. That makes sense.
And
their mouths move very
German.
wide and big,
Yeah.
so like you don't need that to be crisp.
Yep. But some of them, like at the beginning, there's that weird little Mad Hatter guy with the top hat, and then there's like a weird little troll guy. Those were dubbed.
Okay. Yes, I could tell that because
Those are
a part of me
Germans.
thought like these voices are not matching what I'm seeing.
Yep, for sure.
In lots of ways, in tone, in depth. I was like, there's no way that big voice is coming out of that person.
Yep.
There's no way. It's a huge voice.
Yep. Absolutely. And so there was some weird dubbing that was happening all over the place.
Okay.
But then the kids were all English actors. They were not English actors. They're actually American actors. And so they all they would get dubbed over for the German audience.
Sure. Okay.
So, yep. So they did this weird like little mixed thing.
Wild.
So in the book, the character of Bastian. Who's
Yeah.
Bastian, Rach?
Bastion's the little boy who's the slow reader.
The slow reader. Yep. The attic reader kid. He's supposed to be a little fatty.
Oh,
Yep.
he was not.
A little overweight kid. Instead, they cast this little cutie with a bowl cut.
Yeah.
He's very
He's
cute.
a little peanut.
And his name is Barrett Oliver.
He
He does some stuff in the 80s, and then he leaves the industry, and he starts doing this, like, in this print photography stuff that makes it into museums. He's like one of the only people in the world who can do this like certain kind of like print photography blend thing.
Go off, Bastion.
And so he like leaves the industry, but he's still in the art field, and then he's like showcased in all these museums all over the world.
Well, yeah, that's amazing. Good for him.
What did you think of him as a kid actor?
He's a kid actor. I don't know. I don't have strong vibes.
Yeah.
Not strong vibes. He's fine.
Okay.
I mean, a part of it's the writing at times when he just has to.
What
like,
are you talking
yell.
about?
What are you talking about? No. I don't know. He's a kid actor. He's a kid actor in an 80s kid movie. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like,
How old do you think he was?
how old do I think he was?
Yeah. I didn't write his age down, but
He strikes me as a 6th grade boy.
that's what I was going to say. Sixth
Yeah.
grade. Feels
Mhm.
6th grade to me.
Yeah,
Could be a short
11?
7th grader.
10 or
Could be a
11.
tall 5th grader, but I
Mhm.
think 6th grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the vibe I got.
So the little fella who plays Atreyu, who's Atreyu, Rach?
Atreyu is not Bastion, I'll tell you that,
No, he's not.
because that took me a little bit to figure that out.
Yeah, Rach. They kept saying like, "We need a hero, and his name is Atreyu." And then it goes back to the boy, and the boy goes, "Atreyu." And then you were like, "Is his name Atreyu?" He's a different kid.
Well, to be fair, even after seeing him on screen, it took me about half the movie to confirm that these two little boys were not the same two little boys.
Yeah.
Atreyu is another little boy, a different little boy who's not as freckly, who has spray tanned to
Yeah.
look like a Native American, and he is a boy who runs the imaginary plains
Mhm.
with his horse, and he is the only one who can find whatever it is that the Empress needs to not die.
Yeah, what does she need, by the way? Well, you find out
Well,
she
I find
really
out later.
needs. She really needs Bastion to come on board.
Yeah, she needs
You gotta.
Bastion
I
to
need
come
you to
on
do all this
board.
crazy shit, so Bastion's like, I want to be a part of this world too.
Yeah. It's nondescript. I kept thinking, and this could have been from every other film I've ever seen, like that it was like some herb that he had to go find. Because that's how you get rid of a sickness and save the dying empress. You
Mhm.
gotta go find the magical herb at the top of the
Or
mountain.
the elixir or something.
Yeah, something. So I thought it was like a medicinal piece that he was
Yeah.
searching for. But yeah, all along it was just Bastion's attention and willingness to be a part of the story.
Yeah, which we'll get into, like why that's really
Mhm.
crazy, like a little bit later, just in a
So
second.
trippy.
Yeah, a little trippy.
Mhm.
So Atreyu is played by this little gent named Noah Hathaway,
Okay.
and he was an actor since he was a tot.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
Rach, what's your favorite Battlestar Galactica plotline?
I like the one where they get the new planet up and running.
Yeah. Anything interesting about the planet?
Lots of things.
Like,
Oh, I could do a whole podcast about
oh,
that, but I won't. I don't want to bore you.
we'll save it for another
We'll
day.
save it for next time.
Yeah, that's a bonus episode.
Bonus.
So he gets out of the biz shortly after this, and he just does like all kinds of random shit.
Mhm.
Teaches dance, does taekwondo, becomes a tattoo artist, but he does not have a good time on set in this film.
Mhm.
He broke his back while he was prepping for the movie,
Oh my gosh, poor little kid.
and then it's going to become like an avalanche of ouches going forward that we'll get into when we get to film
Oof.
time.
I mean, they were rough with him.
Dude,
he had
they were.
so much physical stuff. I thought, and
He had
if
to
it's a
fall
stunt,
off multiple things.
yeah, and
Yep.
if it's a stunt person, that person is.
It wasn't. It was him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he
It
really
looked
got
bad.
hurt. And so that's one thing that he talks about in interviews.
Mhm.
He's like, my parents were so mad. They were like, hire somebody to do this. And they're
Mhm.
like, no, we don't have time and we don't have the resources.
Mhm.
And so then they kept like just trying to skimp out on that, and they just have him do it. And he
Yeah.
was kind of a rambunctious kid too. He's like, I'll do it, whatever.
Some kids
and
are
so-
bouncy, but
And so
still.
because he was like that kind of kid, they just kind of took advantage of him, and they just
Mhm.
kept getting hurt over and over and over again.
Oh, poor kid.
So Tammy Stronach was the princess.
Okay.
Any idea how old you think she was?
42. That girl acted like she was just like so, like it just, the whole thing about like little girls maturing before little boys,
Sure,
that
yeah.
was never more apparent than it was in that scene. Like she just looked like she was a wise old woman with this little Atreyu coming and being like,
Yeah.
wow, what do we do? She's like, now Atreyu, God, what we need is for the boy. Like she just, her presence, I'm like, who is she? Who is this girl? What does she become after this?
Yeah.
How could he let that happen? He doesn't understand that he's the one who has the power to stop it. He simply can't imagine that one little boy could be that important. Is it really me? Maybe he doesn't know what he has to do! What do I have to do? He has to give me a new name.
So she is only 11 years old. I actually think she looks younger than that.
Mhm.
She looks like an 8-year-old to me,
Yeah.
or a 9-year-old.
For sure.
But she was 11.
Okay.
And she had, get this, lost her 2 front teeth right before filming.
Oh, no.
And so she had to wear special dentures
Uh-huh.
to like, give her a full mouthful of teeth.
Okay.
And that gave her a lisp.
It
So like
did?
one of the reasons she talks so slow is because she had to enunciate because it was hard for her to move her tongue with these
Well,
dentures in her mouth.
Okay, that is explaining maybe some of this presence. Like she
Yeah.
took her time,
Yeah.
like an adult would, acting instead of going. "Rah, rah, rah." She's like, "Now Atreyu, listen to me."
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing.
She beats out 3,000 other girls for this role.
3,000. Who
Yep.
would you even be looking for in 3,000? They
Well,
would all look the same.
Here's what I'm telling you. I'll tell you one person she beat out.
Jennifer Connelly.
No.
Because she was not in this. She was not the Empress, much to my chagrin.
No, she beat out another little girl from the 80s.
Okay.
Think Scary Movie. Little girl,
Mm-hmm.
blonde hair.
The little girl from not Paranormal Activity, from Poltergeist.
Ding, 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 ding,
Bingo, bango. I got it.
Yeah, beats out the Poltergeist girl. They're here.
Mm-hmm.
And she and 3,000 other competitors
Mhm.
and just toast them all.
Sheesh.
Yep. And
Wow. Can
she,
you imagine anything that you've beat 3,000 people in?
No,
I can't.
I think it's crazy. Okay, let's think about this. What's the most people you've ever beat out for a role?
A role?
Yeah. Like, and
I
I
don't
don't
know.
mean like they all auditioned and were like in the chorus, but like they auditioned for your role.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like callbacks probably.
I don't know. Most people don't call back a ton of people for a role specifically, so I say like maybe 5
Yeah.
tops.
I bet I've beaten out. I bet there were some that were like over 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Little Shop, I had to go through multiple rounds for a theater.
Yeah, they put you through it for
And,
that.
and that was probably at least 10, if not like 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think any more than 12 though, or
Mhm.
15.
sure.
Oh, I know what it is.
Hmm.
Spam a lot. And at a theater
Mhm.
in Minnesota,
Okay.
they were doing it for summer stock,
Mhm.
and there was like 20 guys called back for every role.
Oh my gosh.
And we all read for every
Whoa.
role. And guess what?
Whoa.
I can't say I beat anybody out because I didn't get cast.
Well, then that doesn't
I
count.
lost.
You got
I was one of
lost
the
in the
3,000.
shuffle. You were 1 in
I
3,000.
was one of the 3,000.
But you're in good company though, because the little girl from Poltergeist was also 1 in 3,000.
Yeah, and
you
she
know?
did pretty well for herself.
Yeah.
Until
Until
she
she
didn't.
died.
Oh, she died?
Didn't she die?
Oh, I don't know.
What?
I thought
I thought you told me that.
maybe I did.
Oh.
But Tammy, the little princess, had a lot of weird
Mhm.
stuff happen to her after this film.
Oh, okay.
So she turns down the sequel. There's a sequel.
What?
Yep. And we're going to talk about the
Is it
sequel.
Labyrinth by chance?
She turns it down because these weird guys
Mm-hmm.
were proposing to her.
Mm.
Like grown-ass men
Uh-huh.
were proposing marriage to her.
Ew.
And then others were offering her roles, especially in German films,
Mm-hmm.
to be naked.
Ew.
Yeah.
As a young woman.
As a young, like 12, 13-year-old now.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a little
so
kid.
still a child.
Yeah, and so these and it's mostly German. I think they were living in Germany, even though she was like her parents were from America.
Uh huh.
And so her mom was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a really big deal for us. Like this is gonna be awesome."
Yeah.
And she was also, I think, into dance at that time, and that's what she ends up going into afterwards.
Uh huh.
But her mom's getting all these like proposal messages from these weird German guys, and then the
Ooh.
German filmmakers are like, "Hey, I want to put you in this film where you're gonna
Mhm.
be naked and stuff." And I guess there's not like child protection laws in that realm
Good Lord.
for kids, and so it got really weird. She had to take her out of Germany. Her mom
Yeah.
did,
Wow.
and take her back to the States.
That
It's like, hey, we
sounds-
got to get out of here.
Apparently, yeah. Gross.
Yep.
Ew.
So after this, she gets into theater, and then she gets into singing, and then she gets into dancing, and then she goes back to theater, and then ends up back in the world of which she came, which was making films. But now she's more on the production side of the camera.
Oh, very
Yep,
good.
so she's got her own production company.
Good for her.
Yeah. And
Little
then
boss.
there's an actor who played multiple roles in this movie, Rach.
Oh.
Do you have
okay.
any guesses of any role of like a multiple roles that they would play?
Is it the man who comes out and talks to everybody? He's like, "Thank you for coming. I know why you're here. The Empress is sick."
Oh, the like
That
black guy
Yeah.
who's like a old
Who's
wizard.
got like a weird cone on his head.
yeah,
Yeah.
conehead guy. Nope,
It's not him?
it's not him.
Damn it.
It's a voiceover actor.
Yeah, that's my guess.
That was not your guess.
He was. I mean, he was my guess for the voice actor, but
Oh,
I
gotcha.
guess not.
We never see the voiceover actor.
Oh, well, that would be helpful to
But he
know.
plays multiple characters.
Okay.
He plays
He plays the dog.
Falkor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he plays the giant rock person.
Rock biter.
Rock biter.
Pillow biter.
Pillow
Rock biter.
Easy. And he also played this third.
Yeah, there's two more.
Two more.
But you're never going to guess the last
The
one.
snail.
No, the snail is making...
The bat.
The snail's like...
Well, I just
and the
say-
bat's like...
Yeah. So.
No.
Okay.
Nope. He
The
plays...
goblin guy.
No, because that would be an actual actor.
I know. I'm running out of characters
He
here.
plays Gmork.
Which one's Gamork?
Who's Gmork?
I don't know. You tell me. Who's Gamork?
The wolf.
Oh, the wolf. He's got a
Yeah.
very distinct voice.
Uh-huh.
I was sent to kill the only one who could have stopped the nothing. I lost him in the swamps of sadness. His name was Atreyu.
If we're about to die anyway, I'd rather die fighting! Come for me, Gmork!
He's the same as the other guys?
Yeah.
I will just sit here and let it take me away too. They look like good, strong hands, don't they?
Who is this voice actor?
I know. Isn't that
They're
crazy?
incredible.
Yeah. And then
That's
he plays...
so many voices.
There's a narrator who comes in at the end who we never hear
Oh,
any
yeah?
other time. And he plays that narrator, too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What a stud, right?
Does he get paid for wages?
He
for
better.
That? That's wild.
I bet they only gave him a day rate because they're little dicks.
That's
but he
garbage.
should get like a special rate for every single character he's playing.
Yeah, for every day, every character.
Yep.
Those are all different rates, I would say.
Did you have a favorite out of all those characters? I mean, the narrator's kind of shit, but like the other three?
The dog kind of creeped me out.
Yeah, tell me about it. And
I
tell me
don't
about
know.
like, let's talk about creatures.
Yeah, most of the creatures in this kind of creep me out, to
Yeah.
be fair.
Who creeped you out the most?
The dog?
The wolf or the dog dragon?
The dog dragon.
Oh, why did he creep you out?
I don't know.
Falkor creeped you out?
Falkor, it just had this like grown man voice.
Yeah,
for
he's like,
this,
oh yeah, scratch me behind my ear.
Yeah,
He's almost
for
like
this
Gandalf.
dog dragon, and I don't know what I wanted it to sound like. Sometimes
Here, do your best Falkor. Yeah, I want you to do a Falkor right now.
I don't know
No,
that I can.
you don't have to do a mimic of him. I want
Mhm.
you to do what you think
What I
Falkor should
would-
sound
what
like.
I want it to be.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I like it best when the animals or the like best friend character doesn't talk a lot. Like Atreus's horse that he has at the beginning. The
Oh,
horse
yeah.
doesn't talk. And
Ajax, I think is his name.
Ajax. Or Atrax.
Artax.
Artax.
Yep.
What are these names? There it is. Nailed it. No, but the dragon was like, "Hey, young squire, why don't you hop on?" And like his laughs were just.
I like children.
For breakfast?
Never. I'm a luck dragon. My name is Falkor.
And it's probably because he had the German mouth going, and so like it wasn't matching up or
Sure.
something. It was just it was weird. My red flags were flying. I was
Yeah,
like,
you're
I don't
like,
like this at all.
This feels a little
I
dangerous.
feel weird. Don't get on his back.
You
Don't
young,
go with that dragon.
You poor young boy.
Come, young bro. Oh.
Okay, but now I want you to. I'm Atreyu, and
Okay.
I'm like, oh, who are you? Are you? What are you? And now you do him back in the what you wanted him to sound like.
Set me up to fail on this.
Oh, my name's Atreyu. Who are you?
Hello, Atreyu. I.
Okay,
This is
you sound
worse.
like Michael
worse.
Jackson right now.
I know.
I'm also scared to approach you.
As you should be. As you should be.
Yeah.
Hop on, buddy. Hey, Trey, I'm Dragon. Wanna go for a ride?
I don't know.
No one's gonna hire me to be a voice
still-
actor ever after
It
this.
still feels a little disconcerting.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Hey there, old buddy.
Oh. So they filmed this bad boy in 2 different places.
Germany
Munich, yep.
and
And
Switzerland
no.
and Poland.
Nope.
America.
Close. Well, yeah, it's in the Americas, yes.
Nailed it.
But not America. Vancouver.
Oh, that's sneaky.
Yeah. Could you tell that I already kind of asked this, but did you think some actors were really good and some actors were really bad, or did you think that everybody was kind of the same across the board?
Well, I thought the little girl was really good.
Okay, so the
'Cause
girl's the
she's-
star of the show.
She threw me for a loop. I thought, I just can't believe she's so mature sounding and like she had such presence
You should
for an 11-year-old.
hang on to that. If we ever coach middle school again,
Yeah.
so then you have that clip ready to show
Show
some of the
this.
kids. Like, I want simplicity, and be like, here's what I'm kind of looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, poor Atreyu, like the stakes were high throughout. So like the kid gave it his all, and with a broken back, like I don't want to talk too much smack about this poor kid, but like
You can talk smack about him.
it
Everybody
was-
talks smack about him.
does he? Yeah.
Yeah.
poor
I have
kid.
more.
It was,
I have more.
Twas
stories.
rough. I thought the Bastion was better between the 2 boys.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was actually probably okay.
but
Not as cute as Fred Savage though.
okay. Here's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
You're in middle school with both these boys.
Oh, okay.
You've got a
Oh,
Trey.
it's Atreyu all day.
I
you.
knew it. I knew it. It's like Jonathan Taylor Thomas kind of. He's like,
Yeah, the
he's
long
probably like,
hair,
hey,
are
I'm
you
gonna
kidding?
climb this tree now. I'm gonna listen to rock music or whatever. And then the other kid's like, hey, I'm gonna sit out gym class today to read,
Well, they
to study
were-
for this test.
Once I figured out that they weren't the same person, that took me a little bit.
Wait, you thought it was the actor was the same?
That's
Oh,
what I was trying to tell you.
I thought you thought the characters were the same.
No, I thought it was the same
You
actor.
thought the same actors playing both roles?
It took me a hot second. I thought one just got a spray tan and
Oh my
had a
gosh.
wig on.
What?
I was like, but I think he's too tall.
This is way crazier now.
It took me to like a good halfway through the movie. What was the moment? I think I wrote it down.
Yeah, see what it was
no,
after.
I just said halfway through. It was literally the halfway point. And then I was like, oh, they're not the same boy.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I
That
know.
took a long time for you. Okay.
Maybe too long.
That's a wild reveal.
Yeah.
But I love it. I appreciate your
They're
honesty.
just close enough. They look. If they were side by side, I could see it. But we just kept going back and forth. They were never
Yeah.
in the same shot.
They
and
never
it's just
they never
tricky.
talk to each other.
No.
Yeah, he talks to the boy in Earth in the reality.
Mhm.
He talks to the princess, but he never talks to Atreyu,
You
who he
tell
loves.
me. Yeah. You tell me you put a spray tan on that little boy and a wig, and he doesn't look anything like Atreyu.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. That's an interesting concept,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost think that that's an interesting way to go.
Yeah. Maybe for the reboot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty fascinating. I'm
Mhm.
kind of into it.
Okay.
So Germany,
Yep.
when they filmed this,
Yep.
has the hottest summer maybe ever.
Oh gosh.
It possibly, like in recorded time, it is, but like it might be of all time.
Jeez.
And they make these models
Mm-hmm.
for this film, and it's so hot that when they would take them outside, and these are like plastic models, they would melt.
Oh god.
And so, like the ivory tower,
yeah.
the big set piece,
The Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
yeah, it melts.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know Georgia O'Keeffe, but
Oh.
I feel like I kind of know what you're talking about.
Some of you will get that joke.
Well, go ahead. Can you explain
That's
it?
a PG-13 joke.
What's that mean?
Georgia O'Keeffe was famous for painting a lot of flowers that looked a lot like
Vajays?
female body parts. Yeah. I was like, oh, there goes the Empress in her Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
I'm glad I asked for clarification. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
make me explain my joke.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, and it did. Now that I think about it, that's a pretty good call out. But yeah, the ivory tower, it melts.
was melting.
Yeah. Oh,
my
I don't know what
gosh.
that means. But anyways,
Those poor kids probably have so much cancer. Like all the melting plastic. That can't be good.
well, the kids weren't around it.
They weren't around the ivory towers? What do you mean? Oh, for the models?
Yeah, for the
Because it
model.
was just for like the zoomed out
Yeah,
stuff?
just for the
okay.
zoomed out. Like, you think about Harry Potter and,
Yeah,
and the Hogwarts castle.
I gotcha.
And then, so the filming was only supposed to take 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, so when everybody signed up.
3 months? In what world has any filming only ever taken 3 months? That's crazy. You couldn't even do Girl Interrupted in 3 months. That's wild.
So, well, we're going to get into that. Well, actually, the listeners will have already listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
But in our bonus episode,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to find out that the film we do for the bonus episode for the
Mhm.
4th of July,
Mm-hmm.
it only took like 10 weeks.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is wild.
Yeah, so anyways, we'll get the listeners, you might already know this, but Rach will find out when we film this.
Mm.
Actually, after this. So there is it's only supposed to take 3 months. That's when everybody signs on. It takes an entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Atreyu said in an interview that they would shoot scenes over 40 times to get things perfect for Wolfgang.
Oh, gosh.
And that the 2 longest scenes to do were, do you have any guesses?
the mud.
Yep. Artax in the mud,
Ugh.
the horse's death. We'll get into that in just a second.
Mm.
And then the giant turtle scene.
More mud.
Yeah, more mud. Both mud scenes.
The mud scenes.
Yeah, it's funny. The princess mentioned that, she never had to get in the mud.
No.
But whenever she wanted to ask Wolfgang a question, like they would tell her on set, like, "Oh, you're gonna have to go ask Wolfgang. He's working in that stuff."
Mhm.
And it was almost like they had built this huge mud pit in a tent,
Mhm.
so then they could control the environment. So then they
Keep
could
it
like put
wet.
like a.
Mhm.
They didn't do CGI back then, but they would like
Sure.
paint the backdrops or whatever to fill in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
And so there would be this huge muddy pit
Mm-hmm.
that he would be like in the middle of, like knee deep in this mud. And she's so little that she would be trying to get to him. And she would like get into the mud and she'd feel like she was drowning in mud. And she said it kind of scarred her. She was like, every time she had to go talk to him, she had to go into this mud pit and it freaked her out.
Yeah.
And so it was like just
Poor
this,
kid.
this weird set piece that they all
Also,
work
how
in.
many times did she have to go? She only had one scene.
I don't know. Maybe she just had some questions.
Just a lot of questions.
What should I do
this
about
scene.
those dentures?
So these teeth that I have
my
to put
teeth
in.
are gone.
Uh-oh.
I
I
lost
lost my
my
another
teeth.
teeth.
So they were working forever on that Artax death scene and the giant turtle scene.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're going to talk about Artax later, what do you think about the giant turtle?
If I don't save her, she'll die! There's a terrible nothing sweeping over the land! Don't you care about that?
We don't even care whether or not we care.
The effects were very interesting. Like the eyes moved, the nose moved,
Yeah.
everything kind of moved on it. Like it was, but also very ugly to look at. A
Uh-huh.
lot of the animatronics in this were very ugly.
Yeah,
there wasn't
they
a lot
are.
of cute animatronics.
Absolutely
in this world.
not. They are uglo magugos.
Mm-hmm.
But then they are like multiple articulations and like
Mhm.
they're very like well done,
Yeah,
but they're just ugly.
yeah.
But
Hideous,
the
well
world,
done.
the Fantasia world, it's all kind of ugly. So I guess
is
it kind
all
of
ugly.
works.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
weird.
It all holds up though. Doing the practical effects stuff, like
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it holds up in a good way. Yes, it's from whenever it's from, but you can tell like this is lasting a lot longer than it would have had they done some CGI stuff.
Yeah, this movie comes out in 84, so if
Okay.
that gives you like a sense of where we are.
Incredible. I'm all the
Mhm.
more impressed by it.
Yeah. And almost all these creatures, they're all hand-built puppets.
Mhm.
They're either life-size,
Mm-hmm.
and like how big they're supposed to be.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're bigger than they're supposed to be, so they get like major
Those
scale
detail.
shots, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then other times they're just little miniatures that they can zoom in on.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the puppets were just like gigantic, like
Yeah.
the biggest puppets ever created
Wow.
for a movie. Should we talk about the death scene?
Oh, well, first off, like the whole mud scene, like talk about like processing some World War I drama there. Like,
Yeah, for
that's what
sure.
it reminded me of is like just the mud.
Well, and the kids always talked about there was like a crazy amount of fog going on
Mhm.
because they had all these fog machines. They wanted to seem like so
Mhm.
mysterious or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, it was like a really creepy set.
Yeah, they're just awful.
Mm-hmm.
Just awful.
And it was super deep. Like I mentioned, the
Mhm.
directors were just like halfway deep in it.
But yeah, Atreya is walking across this big mud pit and just
The Marsh of Sadness,
the marsh
is that
of
what it's called then?
sadness. And if you give in to the sadness, you will sink and you will surely die. And lo and behold, who gets sucked into it is horrors.
Fight against the sadness, Artax! Artax, please. You're letting the sadness of the swamps get to you. You have to try. You have to care. For me. You're my friend. I love you. Artax! Stupid horse! You gotta move or you'll die! Move, please! I won't give up! Don't quit! Artax!
And I thought that moment happened at like the halfway point, maybe 2/3 of the way. That shit happens 25 minutes in.
It's bad.
It's less than a half
so
hour.
So bad. I was screaming. I was like, what the
Yeah.
The
So-
horse? No!
So it's so funny. They're like trouncing through the mud, and he's like pretty much waist deep, but Atreyu's still feeling good.
Mhm.
He's like, we're gonna be fine. And the horse is kind of struggling a little bit, but he's fine. And then all of a sudden he stops and he looks back at his horse. He's like, come on, Ajax, Artax, or whatever. And he's like, kind of pulls on him or whatever. And I look over at Rach. She looks over at me. And she's like, no. And then he's like, come on, let's go. And the horse is like, and then he's like, it's okay, we're gonna be fine. He like comes over to the other side. He's still like trying to cope with it. He's like, we're gonna be okay. And then the horse keeps singing deeper, and Rachel's like, no. So then the horse is like, and he's like, no, you gotta get out of here, Artax. And he's like, starts freaking out. And he's like, I love you. Just think about me and your love for me, and you can get out. And the horse is just like, just keeps sinking. And I could tell Rach was pretty shook.
I was.
Rach kept going, Penny, because our dog was like on the floor or like somewhere else. She's like, I need you. Get over here. We need you.
I need to cuddle something. That was so messed up. I can't believe you watched that when you were 3.
Yeah. And almost
That would have scarred me.
that's the scene that I remember the most.
Yeah, of course.
That's the scene that sticks with me. Really not much else.
I mean, that's...
Like the book, the image of the book,
Mm-hmm.
the image of Falkor,
Mm-hmm.
just in him riding on Falkor at
Yeah.
the very end.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's Artax's death.
Yeah, that's some Homeward Bound shit right there.
Yeah.
That's like...
It's worse than
they
Homeward Bound.
don't... It is worse.
Because Shadow makes it out.
He makes it.
Oh, have you seen
Ugh.
that video that's been going around as like a therapist? When did you first get connected to your emotional spectrum or something? And then it's a clip of Shadow coming out at the very last scene and the little boy looking at him and him running towards him. It's like, yeah, that was the moment that you cried.
Whoa.
Well, I cried
Whoa.
before that when he's trapped in the pit, but
Yeah, I was freaking sobbed.
yep. But then you cried tears of happiness when he finally makes it out.
Well, yeah, and in the end, spoiler, in the end, when the boy can just, like, wish for everything to be back again, he has lots of wishes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about a NeverEnding Story. I'm still on Homeward Bound.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead.
But you're right. He does wish Artax makes it back.
Yeah, so he didn't really die, except he did.
He did die
We
for a while.
watched him die.
He was
in
dead
this
for
first
a bit.
world. Yeah, everyone was dead.
Yep.
Everyone died.
And that's what Artax is at the end. He's like, Princess Botch, are you kidding me?
Mhm.
You made me go on this journey for no reason than to get this other kid to like be on board.
Mhm.
And I lost my damn horse, girl. What are you talking
and now
about?
I'm gonna die. All for this?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's pissed, and I understand 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be mad as hell.
I'm mad as hell. I'm still mad. Yeah, I can't believe they killed the horse. That's just like childhood movie 101. No,
Yeah.
no. You don't kill the dog, you don't kill the horse.
Such a bold choice.
Yeah.
Can you think of any other children's movies where they go that bold? They're like a dog dies or like a kid dies or something. I mean, My Girl kind of.
Yeah.
But anything else?
I don't know. Those are the ones that are sticking out to me. Homeward Bound dances on its grave, but
Yeah,
it doesn't quite get
It
there.
does.
It's close enough though.
I was mad
close
as hell.
enough for me.
I was mad when Air Bud got hit with a newspaper. I couldn't stand it.
We were all mad about
I
that.
was like, how dare that clown? I would punch him in the mouth.
Oh, I hate clowns.
So Artax had to be taught to drown. They would put him in mud for 7 weeks to get him comfortable with it going up to his chin and without trying to run away or swim out of it. And the end product, by the time they did it, it was so convincing to people that they thought that the horse really drowned. The Germans did. They were like, that horse
Das ist drowned horse.
Yes, it's what we have to do for art.
It's art. Oh, it's brutal art. Boy, it's art.
Sturm und Drang. So yeah, it's a powerful scene. If you have not seen the movie,
Was the
ready
scene
yourself.
worse than what it was for them to believe that? Because it's almost like the cutaway when the mud is like right at his chin.
they do. Yeah, it feels like, and I remember it as a kid, but you know how you manipulate things as a kid. I remembered like seeing him completely sink under the mud, but that doesn't happen in the version we saw.
Oh, I'm glad they don't do that. That poor horse.
Yeah,
It's really messed up, Germans.
but that's my favorite Atreyu acting of the whole thing.
Well,
is
yeah,
when
because
he's-
it's easy because he's screaming and he's just like, my horse, stupid horse.
But then
why
after
don't you get out?
after he's gone and he's kind of just like sitting there and sobbing,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's what you do. You
It's
just
true.
sit there
That
in the
is
mud
very
pit and you
good.
just cry and just be like, I can't believe he was there 1 second and now he's gone.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
It is.
It almost moved me to tears.
Yeah.
And I'm a grown ass woman. And I almost cried.
And what I'll say
at
is, this movie's not good enough to move you to tears.
I know it's not,
But
but it almost
that
did.
moment,
That moment,
they kill it.
it stung my nose.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, Penny, get up here now. Come cuddle with me.
You want to know what really happens to the horse?
Do I really want to know what happens to the horse?
Mm-hmm.
Do
Yeah. They give it to Atreyu. They give it to the kid.
Oh, okay.
But it like can't clear customs and it's going to cost a lot of money to come over on a boat, and his parents say he can't do it, and so he has to give up the horse and he ends up giving it to his stunt double.
Oh,
Yep. So he did have a stunt double who did most of the riding.
that's cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Mm-hmm. But he loved that horse,
Yeah.
and he said it passed on not that long ago. I think he did an interview just like a few years ago, and he's
Oh,
like, I
really?
got an email from my old stunt double, and he said that the horse had a great life. They had went on many rides together and many adventures, and he was the best horse. But now he has moved on to the great fields beyond.
The great muddy fields.
Yeah, the great
He
mud
has sunk
pits
below the
of
muds.
lore. So the kids were all different levels of talented, but they were also all different levels of pains in the ass on set. So everybody's favorite. Do you have a guess on who everybody's favorite kid was?
Between Atreyu and Bastion.
And the princess girl.
Oh, the princess girl.
Nope, was not the princess girl.
She was too inquisitive. Too many questions she had.
Yeah.
Girl, you're in it for like 5
Hey,
seconds. You sit over there.
And now you're covered in mud. You're wearing your dress. I don't know what you're thinking.
What were you
The
doing?
costumer's so pissed. Get out of here.
Yeah, she's the most annoying for
Yeah,
sure.
she's annoying.
But between the two boys,
Yeah, who is the better one?
everyone loves Bastion.
They absolutely love Bastion.
His
He's
little freckle butt. He's
everyone's
so cute.
favorite. He's such a sweetheart, Rach. He's like a little
Is
doll.
he?
Him and the director Wolfgang, they had this like father-son thing
Aw.
where they were together for a year off and on.
Yeah.
And he said that Bastion would like walk around with Wolfgang on set and they would just hold hands. And they were just like, he would take him to different places and show him like different props and stuff. And he'd be like, wow, that's so cool. I'm so lucky to be in this movie, Wolfgang. You're the best. Like they had this just really kind, like wonderful relationship. And the other kids on set though said that Bastion was like kind of reclusive and he would just play with G.I. Joes by himself on set. But
No shame in that.
no shame
Everyone
in that.
needs a little alone time every now and then. I can't play with everybody.
Yeah. But the gal was like kind of blah. Everybody just said she was just kind of there and just like
Poor 11-year-old getting judged,
I know, poor
getting judged by all these adults. Like, yeah, she had no personality. Well, she's 11, so
and
like,
she
cut her
probably
some
feels
slack.
self-conscious about this denture she's wearing, and if she doesn't have dentures,
All
she has no
these
teeth.
German men getting ready to propose to her. Like, yeah, cut her some slack. She's feeling a little weird.
Yeah, for
as
sure.
she should.
So, but they just say she was just there. She's blah. She's super. She says she was very introverted. Like she felt super introverted at that point in her life.
Sure.
But Atreyu
Yeah.
was a little dickhead.
Yeah.
And he would not follow directions. He was like that kid who would be like, yeah, I'm going to climb a tree and eat this snail and put it in everybody's food. And I'm going to pretend I'm going to puke on people. Like, I don't know. These aren't real stories, but he was that
I can
kid.
picture it though.
He was that kid. He was a naughty middle school boy is what he was.
Very fun.
Yep.
Creative type.
So he was also, though, he was a complete cock. He
Oh.
thought he was like the best thing ever. He was
Oh.
like, yeah, I'm going to be a huge star.
Well,
Like,
that works for his
yeah,
character.
I'm like a big deal and all this
Mhm.
stuff. And it was super cocky.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was on Battlestar Galactica before this, so
I
he
mean,
knew his way around a set.
He has some presence too. Like he also, I mean, he's, acting as though he is much older than he is as a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it kind of works for him.
Here's what Wolfgang says about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's super athletic. He's a know-it-all.
Mm.
And he's perfect for the role, but he is awful to work with.
You can't say that about kids.
Yeah, but he
Oh my
did.
gosh.
That's the Germans for you.
It's just like
They
let it out.
speak it to you straight.
Could you imagine if we just like went it down, just like put all those kids on blast that we've ever worked with?
Oh
like,
my
so-and-so,
gosh.
little shit, the shittiest little shit you ever worked with.
Yeah, I would love it. Put him on blast.
Yeah, one by one.
But let's talk a little bit about why he was a dick.
Okay, because he broke his back before.
Well, he broke his back beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
He got thrown from his horse.
Yeah,
He got stepped on by it. And I don't know if this was the horse. I take it this was
probably.
Artax.
Mm-hmm.
Then the wolf beast at the end that he fights.
Yeah.
So that fight is really lame, which is
Yeah.
funny. He's like, the wolf is in the cave, and then all of a sudden it jumps out, and then you just see them kind of crumple together, and he had apparently
Had stabbed
had
it.
stabbed him. Atreyu had.
Mhm.
And but apparently that was a robot
Mm-hmm.
and not a puppet.
Okay.
So they had made this short circuit like robot,
Oh, okay.
and it malfunctioned, and it had like it had actual claws,
Oh God.
and it slashed his eyeball.
Oh
And
no.
there was a doctor on set, a medic, who said like, yeah, you almost lost your eyeball. Like your eyeball is like so close from getting slashed or like it being ripped out. Like it was crazy. He had to go to the hospital and get it fixed. And then after it slashed his eyeball, it fell over and it landed on him. So it like hurt him like double trouble.
This poor kid.
And so the kid was kind of traumatized.
yeah.
So although he was walking around like a big dick, he also was like almost getting murdered all the time.
On the daily.
He would get thrown from Falkor when he was riding Falkor, who was like mostly a puppet, but then there were some parts that were like kind of robotic, and it would
Sure.
malfunction and jerk, and he would get flung to the ground. All that tree stuff where he would fall out of the tree and into the mud, that was all real falls. There was no stunt double.
Well,
They would
that
just
was
use him
not
every time.
soft either. Like you could just
No,
tell, you
it
could
looked
just hear him, like,
terrible.
smack the ground. You're like, how?
He has this moment where he falls off the turtle too, and it's like a big hill, and he just stumbles down the hill and falls into the mud in one camera take, and you can tell clearly it's the actual actor. And I was like, holy shit, that's
Yeah.
totally a stunt double thing.
Yeah, and there's
I can't
sticks
believe
and
that.
debris that he's probably getting like, rolling onto while he's rolling down there. Like, First off, I'm never gonna blame like an 11-year-old for like being like having any personality flaws, like being cocky or being whatever. Like he's a kid.
Sure.
He's a kid. We're all kids. We all say or do stupid things. And like the fact that he went through all of that, like that's crazy to me. Ugh.
Well, another thing that happened, and this is a little bit why I think the director and producers are like okay with talking shit about him, is his parents were like the worst parents to deal with ever. They were helicopter parents, and they were always trying to blackmail the production for more money after signing the contract for how much it was going to be.
Sure.
They would always come back and be like, hey, I think we're going to pull him if we don't get this much more money. And so they kept like trying to hold up the production.
Playing.
And then they didn't know what to do. They're like, do we continue forward or do we halt production
and
to
get a
figure
new
out this
kid.
contract dispute? And if this kid's going to leave, I got to hire somebody else, so I don't want to keep filming stuff with him. And so it just became this huge mess for the production side and his parents being assholes. So
Well,
it was
to
a
be
mess.
fair though, like if your kid, I mean, the whole contract thing, once it's signed. But the whole like being a helicopter parent, yeah. If my kid is showing up with all of these detached retinas and things falling on him, I'm also gonna be like, what's going on here? Like that's unacceptable.
Well, for sure you can demand like a stunt double and everything like that too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. You can, yeah. I don't have any sympathy for the director at this point.
Yeah. Let's talk about Falkor.
Let's talk about that dog.
Let's talk about that
dragon.
scary dog dragon that you don't like so much.
Whoa!
Scratch me behind my ear. So he's not a dog. He's a
Nope.
luck dragon.
Not a dog.
And in the book,
Mhm.
his design is much different. There's like even a picture of him that was drawn in the original book.
Does it look like a real dragon?
He looks pretty much like a dragon, kind of like a Dragon Ball Z dragon.
cool.
Yeah, he's like just like long and like more scaly and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, the designer for this movie was like, I have this other idea. What if we make him like a golden retriever dragon combo? like bottom half
So
dragon.
he is a dog dragon.
Top half
I
golden
knew
retriever.
it.
And so it goes against the book's design. The
Mm.
author, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, but the author like is a consultant when they're writing this into a script
Okay.
and kind of writes a little bit of the screenplay.
Sure.
But then Wolfgang
Mm.
takes some like major liberties and some other producers step in and like kind
Mhm.
of start to rewrite stuff and without him knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is one of the things that happened was his Falkor redesign.
Mm-hmm.
He's 43 feet long.
Oh, wow.
Just the head alone weighs 200 pounds and has multiple people like doing different little things to like
Mhm.
accent different gesticulations, facial
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
He was made of airplane steel.
Ooh,
So
okay.
he's heavy duty.
Yeah.
And he has 600 scales. He takes 25 people to fully operate.
Jeez, 25.
Yep.
That's incredible.
And I already kind of mentioned this with Atreyu. He would overheat, and Atreyu would get thrown off 15 feet into the air as it malfunctioned because it was buck like a bronco.
Oh my god. That's not going to be super soft to land on either, I bet.
Yeah.
I'd wager. That's crazy that he's like one whole piece. You know, like, I don't think they
Yeah,
would do it
yep.
now in one whole piece. They'd be like, this is the head piece, and then they just CGI a little bit, and this is the body piece. Like, but like to have one whole functioning piece
Yeah.
is kind of crazy.
It is crazy. Well, and the malfunctioning part, like some of it was like robotic too.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't all like people. Sometimes it was people like controlling like a
Sure.
remote control
Yeah.
almost. But let's converge onto the rock monster.
Okay. Yeah.
Rach, how many people do you think it took to control the rock monster?
Well, here's the thing. The rock monster, from the scale that they show you, is giant. It's the biggest like puppet that we see in this per the scale, but my hunch is that maybe it's not as big, so maybe it's less than the dog dragon.
Okay. So 25
But then there's
to
so many in like that it moves its face like a crazy amount. So there's still a lot of detail there. So, but I'll still say less than the dragon that's flying. So I'm going to say rock person takes 15.
Okay. It only takes one.
Whoa.
It's just a guy in a suit.
It's just a guy in a suit?
Yeah.
So
And then
it really
he can
is
manipulate
smaller.
the mouth.
Oh?
Yeah.
Well, there it is.
He does it all.
Puppeting 101.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Pretty crazy.
It's like a little mascot.
Yeah, for sure.
Little rock eater. That'd be a fun mascot.
That would be fun. So there's some weird shit in number 2 with him. He has
yeah?
He has a baby.
Oh, by,
little rock
by
baby.
himself?
Yeah, apparently.
he-
Yeah, there's no mom.
He's asexual, so he can do that?
Yeah, apparently he just spits it out.
Very cool.
Yeah, has this little rock baby.
Wait, he spits it out?
I don't know if he spat it out or not, but
So he's like Cronus, where
Yeah,
he just, like,
yeah.
he eats
He
his
comes
kids
out of
and
his-
then like they cut
he
themselves
comes
out of his belly.
his
Zeus.
forehead or whatever. Yeah. So there starts to be a bunch of creative differences pretty on in production between Indy, the writer, and Peterson, the director. And one of those major conflicts, we already talked about like the Falkor redesign, but one of the major conflicts that they have is another creation from the film, and that is the Sphinxes.
Mm-hmm.
Rach, what would be some of the problems with the Sphinxes design?
Their boobs are giant.
They all look like strippers.
They have
They're like
giant tots.
Double
and
D's.
They're like orb-like. They're like fake-looking like. Like if
And-
you're gonna do something that's carved in marble, that's a nude top. You don't do those types of that. You don't do that chest. You
And
do a
why?
different chest.
And why do they have nipples? Why do they need nipples?
I don't know.
They have big areolas for no reason.
And all the angles that they get, like you're looking at the
Yeah.
bottom of it, you're looking at the top of it. It's like, geez Louise, like this is wild. I can see, many a youngin like pausing it, like, whoa, check out look at it from this angle. Like, there are way too many top pictures for that. Like,
It's
just
crazy.
so much time spent with the tots in full view.
And I
the
kept
giant tots.
I kept looking over at you, waiting for you to like say something like, "Oh my gosh, look at those jugs."
I mean, I thought it. I don't even.
But you never did.
I don't know if I wrote
was
it,
like,
but I
"Oh,
thought
cool.
it.
Oh, we're gonna bring this up later.
Oh yeah, I was there. I knew it. I was like, Jesus.
Oh, it was so funny.
So who wanted the big chi-chis?
Wolfgang did.
Yeah, did
Indy
he?
said they were strippers with lasers. Is what he called them.
Agree to agree.
And Peterson also did a quick rewrite right before they entered filming.
Mhm.
And Indy saw an early cut of the film and was like, what the F happened, dude? Like, this is not at all what we wrote together. And Wolfgang's like, yeah, it's the new script. And he's like, you just bastardized my entire thing. So when the movie comes out, the screenplay writer is super pissed. Even though he did help to write the original script, he calls a special press conference after the film's release, and he spends the entire press conference just trashing on the movie. Just being like, they ruined this. They ruined this. This is bullshit. They totally took advantage of this, and they manipulated this the wrong way. And says that it was just a huge money grab that ruined his beloved book. He didn't really want to sell it to begin with.
Sure.
He thought it would be too hard to create into a film. So then when it finally did get sold and they effed it up, he was like, yep, this is what I knew was going to happen. This is awful. So he made them remove his name from the credits because he was so mad at everything.
Wow. Oof, but not from the royalties.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'ma still get them checks.
Daddy still need them checks. Oh, I just finished this writing this tag, but it's not in here anymore because I'd have to restart my Google Docs, so I won't be able to tell you the tag. You want to look up the tag?
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
tell
look
you
up
some
the
stuff.
tags,
There's only one tag, but it's pretty cool, I think, actually.
You think so,
Yeah, I do.
Well, we'll
it's on
find
IMDb
out.
if you want to look it up. So, like I said, this movie comes out in 1984. It's a summer blockbuster, July 20th. It costs $27 million to make. It makes
cheap.
it makes $4.3 million the first week. So this is the most expensive film in German history. Remember that.
Yeah.
Makes 4.3 the first week. So it's like, oh shoot, is it gonna make its money back? It makes $100 million overall.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow.
In the States, so it does well internationally, but in the States, it's number 4 the first week. It's against Ghostbusters, the first one, Defense, which is like an odd couple military movie, and then number 3, old Summers Off classic, Gremlins. Which is funny because I thought Gremlins came out around Christmas. It's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
But this is July. So either Gremlins is still rocking or it didn't come out around Christmas. I can't remember. You got a tag yet?
Nope.
Type in NeverEnding Story tagline. It should be...
I did.
We'll try again.
Well, Oh, there it is. Oh, I got it. Okay.
Okay.
A boy who needs a friend finds a world that needs a hero in a land beyond imagination.
Try again, now that you've read it once.
Okay. A boy who needs a friend finds a world that needs a hero in a land beyond imagination. That was pretty much the same thing. But just
I know. All you did was do this voice. I just wanted I wanted you to like a story, but not like a. I wanted like.
A boy who needs a friend finds a world that needs a hero in a land beyond imagination.
Yeah, this isn't doing it for me.
A boy who needs a friend.
That last one, I'll be honest, you're on the right track.
I need some time to work with it.
It's an action adventure.
It's an action adventure. Well,
Yeah.
you read it. Read it to me. Don't skim it. Just read it. Just get in there. Get in there cold. You've heard it enough.
A boy who needs a friend finds a world that needs a hero in a land beyond imagination.
See, your pauses were very similar to me. You chunked it like I did. Take one breath and do the whole thing.
Okay, yep, you got it. A boy who needs a friend finds a world that needs a hero in a land beyond imagination.
See, it needs pauses.
It does.
But
it has to have the pauses.
The last part,
But I wanted the
a land
tone.
beyond imagination, that's the tricky part. It's like,
Yeah.
where do I breathe on
But
that?
I wanted the tone. We captured the tone at the
A
end.
boy that needs a friend
See yourself.
in a world who needs a hero beyond imagination.
Yeah, it's just not. That one doesn't work for me. Oh, shoot. So, Rotten Tomatoes score? Rach, any guesses?
56%.
Higher.
No,
Yep.
probably not.
Yes, it was.
Much?
Much.
No.
Much higher.
Multi higher? 81.
You're so close. That's the audience score. 83%. And then here's what the consensus is. A magical journey about the power of a young boy's imagination to save a dying fantasy land. The NeverEnding Story remains a much-loved kids' adventure. Here's some of the reviews. Ebert loves the movie and the special effects, and Siskel was like, those effects are so terrible, bro. Complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh, interesting.
He says, Falkor looks like a claw machine toy. And Ebert said,
he is ugly.
Ebert says, at 90 minutes, this is the perfect length. And Siskel says, this movie is way too long. It's garbage, brah. So they like had this completely different takes. And I don't know if they were working together at this time,
that's so funny.
but they in their film critic worlds, they were both doing different things.
Well, I agree. I think the length was great. 90 minutes, especially for a kids movie, is like primo timo. I
Yeah.
wish more movies were 90 minutes.
I actually thought we could have shaved 10 off.
Yeah, it feels
like,
like a little.
I think this could have been an
drag it on.
80-minute-er.
I know we didn't have commercials on this one, so
Yeah,
we were
we
living
bought
the
this
good
one.
life. Wait, we bought this?
Yeah, forever.
No.
No, you want to know what's funny, though? I have NeverEnding Story 2 on DVD.
We have that on DVD
Yeah.
downstairs. Right
It
now?
might be in
our
South Sea
house
still. But
in this house.
I own it. It's in my possession.
Incredible.
And I think it was like a $5 bin buyout, like a Walmart in
Oh
undergrad.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah. We've been there.
we've all done it.
Gotcha.
So we have to talk about the theme song.
Mm-hmm.
So Stranger Things, it brought it back into the mainstream.
Yes.
But this song was a freaking smash hit right when this movie came out. It was #1 in Sweden and in Norway. It was number 17 in the U.S.
Okay, but top 20.
Yeah. So it was always a big deal. It's a cruel. Okay. Hey, can you do NeverEnding Story and I'll do Cruel Summer?
Y'all, to the best of my ability.
Okay.
I almost
start with.
I almost sang Cruel
Do
Summer.
you want to do Cruel Summer?
I do
instead?
want to do Cruel
Okay,
Summer.
okay. I'll do NeverEnding Story.
Thank you.
It's the never-ending story.
It's a
Do 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 do
cruel
do
summer.
do do.
leaving me here on my own.
It's the
a
never-ending
cruel summer.
story.
Now we're gone.
I like it.
Yeah,
I think there's something there
it's
though.
close.
Yeah.
It needs some tweaking.
Yeah, we'll keep working
Workshop
on it,
it. Yeah.
and we'll bring it back later on. It was performed by the lead singer from Kajagoogoo.
Gesundheit.
His name is Lamal.
Lamal
Lamal from Kajagoogoo. Rach, what's your favorite Kajagoogoo song?
is a cruel, cruel summer never ending. It's the mashup we just made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's very fun. Rach, what'd you think of the cool medallion?
Well, that's very leading. What did I think of the cool medallion?
What'd you think of that cool medallion that we should own?
The two snakes eating their tails.
Yeah. What does that mean, even? Like, what's going on?
It's like infinity.
I know.
It's
It's
never
like,
ending. It's
yeah.
a circle.
Oh, it's the never. Oh my gosh, I didn't even piece that
Are
together.
you serious right
Yeah.
now? Are you joshing me, bro?
I thought about like the circular, like it never, like the infinity thing, but I
Mm.
never put infinity to never ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never pieced those words together.
I mean, the fact that there are two snakes eating their own tails, each other's tails. I don't know. Would it be
I think they're
infinity if they
eating
eat? If they eat each other's tails, is it infinity then? Or will that end at some point?
I don't know.
I have to see it drawn out. 1 minute.
It's kind of a cool thing though,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also kind of scary.
Yeah, which is kind of like this movie.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of cool. Kind
That's
of
what I'm saying. Like it's kind of cool, but kind of scary.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it's gonna be very dark too. And
Yeah.
It ends up like, especially the beginning with the 3 characters that it starts with. It's like, ooh, this is kind of weird.
Guess who owns the what's it called? The Orin. That's that medallion.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who owns the Orin?
Somebody owns it.
Somebody
Someone
has it.
bought it.
Yep, somebody huge.
Like it went off.
And think around this time period, but also even today, and think more on the production side. Huge,
Oh, okay.
not an actor.
Okay, gotcha. So, so it's not Elon Musk. Is what I was
No,
gonna
it's not Elon Musk.
Okay.
But that does sound like something he would own.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yep. No, somebody more in the Hollywood industry.
In the Hollywood and the producing and
It doesn't have to
specific
be producing, but production side.
production side. George Lucas.
No, but you are so close.
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg owns it. Spielberg got it as a thank you because Wolfgang asked him to help him cut this film
Oh,
for the
seriously?
U.S. release. He's like, I got the
Oh.
German release figured out.
I got the Germans.
I know
off
what
they get
I know
out.
what my people like. But
They
then
likes this.
but then he was like, I don't understand how to cut this for the U.S. And so the Spielberg came in. He's like, well, here's what you got to do.
Yeah, what
So
do you do?
that cut that you see, I don't know. I actually have no idea.
That's interesting.
But I think it's like 10 minutes shorter.
Helpful.
Yep.
Mhm,
Than the German version.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Spielberg had a hand in this,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of a weird thing. I don't even have this in my notes, but it was in my research. You know that scene when they're meeting at the beginning when the black guy is like speaking for a long time, the black weird cone guy, and you can drive trucks through his speech is like so long and drawn out. That actor, I would have been like, speed it up, bro.
Chop chop.
But there are a bunch of weird characters all around. Like you can see
Yes.
Yoda, you can see Mickey Mouse.
You
can
can?
see, yeah, in
I
certain
didn't
clips.
See them.
You can see all
I
these.
saw lots of other things.
Yeah,
but
there's a
not
bunch of
those.
weird stuff that they zoom in on. But
Ah.
the zoomed out shots,
Uh-huh.
there's like all these like other characters that are homages to other people and other filmmakers.
Weird.
Yeah. E.T. I think is on there.
What?
Yeah, I think E.T.
And I'm assuming
Yoda,
they got the rights to do all these.
Mickey Mouse. No, I don't think so.
characters? Oh, they just did them.
think they just did
blurred
'em.
them and.
Yep, because they could just deniability. You know, like, yeah, plausible deniability. I don't know. No, I don't think so.
No, probably not. Well, it's good that they had Spielberg come in because, like, he's quite the editor when it comes to things. I think, remember all the changes that he made for Gremlins? And he was like, you need more Gizmo.
Yeah.
Make it
Yep.
cuter.
Because weren't they gonna make Gizmo turn evil?
Yeah, they were going to, like, have him turn evil, like, right away. He's like, don't do it.
You gotta keep him.
Keep it. You need a hero.
Yep.
And then
it's not the humans.
It's not the humans.
It's the cute little
Gizmo saves the day at the
Yep,
end.
for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, so
Best move ever.
I'd be curious what
That-
the German version has
That
of this.
movie would have been like so forgettable
Mm-hmm.
if you wouldn't have Gizmo.
Do you think that he killed the horse? Do you think Spielberg killed this horse?
No, it's in the book.
Do you think that he made it more dramatic?
No, I don't think so.
I think he wanted it to be a memorable movie. And
I
he's like,
think-
we're gonna kill that horse.
I think the Germans probably really show the suffering of the horse,
Mhm.
and I think Spielberg is like, that's too much for an American audience.
Mhm.
And I bet he like cuts it in a way that actually happens faster
that makes sense.
because he knows you'll lose him if you make him too sad.
He's
like, you're already
gonna
gonna
shut
crush-
down.
He's like, you're already gonna crush him, so I'm not gonna let you like drone on about crushing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he owns that cool medallion now,
Mhm.
and the what do you think about the book that that Bastian reads?
Very cool.
Yeah,
Got the medallion on the outside.
how
of
much do you think it's worth?
$95,000.
You're so close. It's worth $75,000 originally on eBay, but in 2015 it had been on there for like multiple years, and even
Nobody bought it.
he even got Bastian to come.
Mhm.
The owner did,
Uh-huh.
and like take pictures with the book, and he's like, "Yeah, this is definitely the exact book,"
This is the book.
and sign off on it. And it's still nobody had bought it, and so it dropped down to $28,000.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's
bought
picked it up.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't checked. Maybe it's still on there. Maybe it's not. But
Wait, you think we could buy it?
I think
Could we do like a GoFundMe and we could all collectively buy this book?
that would be cool.
That would
It
be
could be a
very
part of our
cool.
summers off museum collection.
Yeah.
We'll start with Bastian's book.
We'll just buy up different things like this.
What else
This
do you
is
want to
great.
buy? Oh, well, you know somebody who owns a hat from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
You can
I'll
put
just
this in the
ask
museum?
him if I can have it when he dies.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
sure
there's 2.
There's 2 things.
We need 5.
Okay, we need 5 things. Probably something from Gremlins.
Okay. What if I told you I could get my hands on the real Annabelle from all
No.
the Conjuring movies?
That's not a Summers Off movie. It's gotta be a Summers Off movie.
Well, we'll do it.
We will not.
And
be
then we'll
doing
have the
that.
Annabelle movie.
Absolutely
Annabelle doll, too.
not. Nope.
I think I can get a hold of a lot of haunted things.
Can we get one of the funky South American squashes from Halloween?
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, that they made into pumpkins, but they were really
Yeah.
squashes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and they get all rotted, but it'd be cool.
It would be cool. So, what do you think Bastian screams at the end, Rach?
Bastian! Please! Save us! Alright! I'll do it! I'll save you! I will do what I dream!
So you want to tell everybody what's going on there?
Yeah, so all this kid's got to do to save everything is he just has to loudly say a name for this. He's got to rename the Empress.
The Empress is like, he has to give me a new name.
Actually, I'm dying.
one
I'm
of the-
sick, but he just renames me.
One of
and
the
I'm
big
well.
totted sphinxes is like, the human has to rename her.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all he's got to do. And the kid's like, he has a name in his head. And I think it's from a previous dream that he had where he yells his mom's name because his mom
Yeah.
died recently.
But he doesn't give her his mom's name.
He doesn't?
No,
How do you know that?
because I know the name.
Could you understand
And
what he
nobody
said?
would be named this.
Okay. What was it?
The name is Moonchild. Moonchild!
That's what he yells?
He yells Moonchild.
Oh.
'Cause
So
that's
it's
what he
not
yells
his
in the
mom-
book.
So it's not his mom's name.
No, I thought the same thing. I was like, Marianne! Luis! But yeah, he does not give her his mom's name.
Okay.
He gives her Moonchild.
Okay. I'm so
But
confused.
the mom, I thought the same thing. I was like watching, and he's like, "What did he even said? Like, my mom has a pretty name." Like he says like a comment about his mom's name being pretty at one point, and I was like,
Are we sure
What
his
the hell?
mom's name isn't Moonchild?
"That'd be wild."
Did she die in a terrible LSD accident? What happened?
I don't know.
We don't know how she died.
No, we never find out how she died.
I wonder if it's in the book.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. But his dad's pretty a good dad.
Yeah, except he mixes eggs with OJ in a blender and drinks it.
Yeah, so he's kind of a sociopath.
That is disgusting. I mean, if that was a drink in the 80s, no thank you.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Gross.
I've seen people mix egg yolks with milk in blenders.
That's also, well,
Have you seen that?
hopefully only to make scrambled eggs after that, to drink it.
No, they drink it.
Oh.
And they'll put other things in there too. But I've never seen it with orange juice.
I mean,
that was brand new for me.
I love a runny egg. I do, but I have my limits. I can't eat a raw egg like that. Ew.
I don't know.
Would you do it?
Yeah, I would.
You would drink one?
In fact,
You'd
I think
drink an egg?
I've already done it.
What?
Yeah, I swallowed an egg once.
What?
It was like a dare. I don't remember what was going on and why I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it got dared to me to swallow an egg in a glass, and I did it. It was just like a big goober going down my
I
throat.
can't even look at you anymore. That's disgusting.
Hey,
Ugh.
give me a kiss.
Absolutely not. Never again will I make that mistake.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you want to try?
No.
It's just like a big goober.
Yeah, because that sounds great.
Oh, I mean, it's a total waste of an egg.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody wouldn't just take the 3 seconds to cook one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, truly.
Yeah. That's a waste of time.
Heinous. Gross.
But yeah, that's real.
But yeah, no, the dad's talking to him at the beginning, and he's kind of like saying, like, hey, buddy, it sounds like you're not doing so hot in school now. I know about your mom. You're sad, but we gotta keep moving on. We gotta keep, it's not bad. I think it's supposed to come off like a little cold.
Yeah,
but-
you're supposed to kind of think he's a dick because even Bastion's like, I got to keep my feet on the ground like Dad told me, but I want to be up in the clouds. And then he leaves. He leaves the world at the very end. Bastion does.
Yeah.
And he doesn't come back for a long time, it says.
Yeah.
He's like on all these adventures and
His
creating all these things with
poor
his mind
father.
powers. That's what I thought. I was like,
His
his
poor
dad
dad.
didn't deserve that. All his dad said was, kid, quit skipping class and reading books in that attic and go to math class.
Yeah.
I don't want you to fail out of school because I love you and I care about you and I miss your mom too. But that doesn't mean we can self-destruct. We still got to go on with our lives. He did nothing wrong. And then he loses his son for months
Yeah. To a dog dragon.
to a luck dragon.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you didn't. Speaking of the dog dragon, you can visit him.
What?
In fact,
Did we miss our chance? Was he in L.A.?
No.
Oh,
no.
thank God.
No.
Where is he?
He would never be in L.A.
Is he in Germany?
He's in Germany, baby.
Oh, we did miss our chance.
No, we didn't.
We were just in Germany for a
We
night.
were in the west half. We were just in the west corner.
But had we known, we could have been in
he
the
is
other.
in Munich.
He's in Munich?
So we're going to go to Munich at some point because I got
Yeah.
to try all the beers.
Oh, yeah.
and I want to get the Stein from there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so much fun culture stuff that's going on down there.
Oh boy.
But we are also going to go visit Falkor.
Is he like in town? Is he out of town?
He's
like,
way out of the way.
Oh my gosh.
And he costs a lot of money to go see.
What?
Yep. It's going to be $200 a piece.
No.
But we can get pictures
Do
of
we
Falkor.
ride him
Yeah,
at least?
No, definitely not. No, I don't know how much he is or where he's
Crazy.
at. But we'll definitely put that on the list. We got to see.
We'll think,
When
we'll think about
When
it.
I get Fodders, and I get Fodders book to
Mhm.
plan the Germany trip.
Yep.
If Falkor's not in that Fodders book, I'm throwing it away because they obviously don't know what they're talking about.
They don't
Like,
get
oh,
it.
do you have anything of worth in this book? Rach, there was a sequel,
Mhm. Which we own, apparently.
which we apparently own. Yep. And Michael Indy, he tries to stop it with a court order.
Oh.
After how badly the first film goes,
Mhm.
he is desperately trying to make sure this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It fails. The court order does not work.
Ugh.
They let it go through. They're like, you sold the rights to the entire book.
Oh, dang
and so here's the
it.
deal. The first one is the first half of the book.
No, that's
The
only
s-
half.
The second one is the kind of the second half. It's like second half and other bullshit.
Okay.
And so they have this, and I think he wrote more than one book,
Mm-hmm.
but because this was part of the first book,
Mhm.
they get to make the film.
Oh man.
And then they actually make a third one, which I didn't even know. And
Uh-huh.
it's about just like random bullshit that doesn't even exist in the books. It's
so,
like
but
they made
just
up
get
their
to
own
keep
thing.
using the name because
Yeah.
they already bought it once.
Exactly.
Oh my.
But that one has nothing to do with the books. The second one is awful.
Mm-hmm.
It came out 6 years later in 1990, and there's this weird little duck character in it that
Mhm.
like works as this like guide for this main character. There's these weird monsters who look like soldiers. They fall into water and they bubble. And there's this annoying actress who plays the princess.
Mhm.
She's grown up. It's not the same gal
Mm-hmm.
because obviously she's getting proposition. She wanted to get out of the
Yeah.
film business.
Yeah.
And they also replaced Bastian. So
Mhm.
Bastian's older now. He's like a teen.
Sure. Ugly, pimply, disgusting.
And so he's like, now I've gone on with my life. I'm not a part of the Fantastica or whatever, or
Mhm.
Fantasia. I'm like, we'll do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, could you imagine like living that life and then all of a sudden like just falling into normal teen stuff after
Yeah.
that? Like, nah, I'm moody. It's like, you're not moody. You have a dog dragon. There's nothing to be moody about.
so they get a young star from
Mhm.
the 90s.
Yeah.
So
Christian Bale.
nope.
Okay.
Not Christian Bale.
Okay, continue.
Keep guessing.
You keep going.
So
Emilio Estevez.
no. Amelia will be way too old by now. So it's a young star. Here's what he was doing.
Okay.
So he gets out of Fantastica or whatever is it Fantasia, Fantastica, whatever the hell. So he leaves that land, and what he does instead is he starts playing soccer, but then he gets in trouble, can't play on the soccer team anymore. So he dresses up like a girl and he plays on the girls' soccer team, wins a bunch of games, falls in love with a gal.
Are you describing ladybugs?
I am, because Jonathan Brandis plays the new Bastion.
Wow.
Yep.
How about that?
He's okay. He's not very good.
Mm.
There's this weird evil queen lady in this movie too. I
Very
already told you
cool.
about the baby rock giant. It's just a mess. Peter
Mm-hmm.
Wolfgang doesn't direct it. It's a total flop and bomb. It's only got 14% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
So you got to check it out.
okay.
And then you mentioned this. A reboot is coming.
It is.
Get your mud pits ready. We drown in some horses, girl.
No.
Yep. Reboot is on its
I
way.
don't think I can
Pre-production.
handle a modern day horse drowning. If I'm not
Got to.
watching World War I stuff, I can't prep myself for that mentally.
It's got to drown.
No.
If you want to see a horse, survive a bunch of stuff, go watch a war horse. But this horse is dying.
God.
Yep. It might come back at the end.
Do you know
thanks to
anything
wishes.
more about the reboot? Like who's in it?
No,
Who's
I don't
directing?
even know if they're to casting. I think they're
Mm.
just in pre-pro and trying to figure out
Hopefully,
the artistic team.
Hopefully forever. Hopefully it's in what's that?
Do you
place
never
called?
want to see Purgatory?
Purgatory?
Is
It's
that
in
the place you?
pre-production hell.
Yeah, pre-production Purgatory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to never see this get remade?
Yeah, I don't need to see this again. I don't need to see any version of this again.
Okay, let's pretend.
I hear the song again, but that's about it.
There was a really cool instrumental too. That like when they're traveling around, there's like this really like. It sounds like you're playing Mario Galaxy. It's like this like fun little video game, like running around this wondrous world, like. it's like wondrous, like magical. It's like, woo, fun.
Woohoo.
So, yeah.
All right.
Favorite scene, favorite part in the movie?
Not the horse drowning. That was terrible. That was
Yeah.
the worst scene I've seen all season, probably. That was terrible. Best scene. I don't know.
Least favorite creature?
This is blasphemous.
Yeah.
It's a dog dragon.
It's the dog dragon? More
Should've
than like
been
the weird goblin guy who's
Yeah,
annoying,
he's
or
annoying,
like
but he's only in a little bit of it, and that was
for
such
me,
a,
it's him.
it's a well, he's a
Little
close
goblin
second.
guy's annoying.
Yeah,
Terrible
but
actor. It's just
dog
whatever. Get
dragon,
out of here.
like that needs to be like I want a stuffy of that. I should want to buy a stuffed animal of that, and I don't want to buy a stuffed animal.
I
of
guarantee there's a stuffy of this.
I know,
I guarantee
but
that
I don't
kids
want it 'cause it's
have
ugly.
Falkor sitting on their beds.
that. Yeah,
He's got a long torso. He looks like a hot
they
dog.
just didn't make him cute
Floppy
enough.
ears.
He either needed to be like more dragon-like or more cute-like, but they kind of like did this like bastardization thing in the middle that just doesn't work either way.
Wow, you're mad as hell about this.
I just have strong opinions about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You hate Falkor.
I don't really need to see him in Munich.
Oh my gosh.
That might be a day
really?
trip for you.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, you're
Nah.
not going to even come?
I don't know. If it's $200.
I don't know how much it is. Wow, this is stunning.
Yeah. Well,
This is a very hot take.
I know. What's your favorite scene?
I remember there was a turtle in it.
That was your this
No.
turtle
Let
scene?
me tell my story. I knew there was a turtle in it. And I was like, oh, I think I like the turtle.
Mm.
But then I watched the turtle scene. I was like, no, the turtle's a dick. And then the turtle keeps sneezing all the time. I was like, no, this turtle's lame as F.
Yeah.
Get that turtle out of here.
Agreed.
So it was the worst turtle of my life. I was very bummed about it. I just watched TMNT and I loved it.
Loved it.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Let me guess. Was it Sphinxes?
As a kid, I love the
I
Sphinxes.
love the Sphinx scene. Obviously.
No, I remember loving Rockbiter as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and now I think he's just whatever. Like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't really have a favorite scene. This
So
movie,
it was a hard question. Thank you.
This-
I was just thinking
this
like,
movie
I
did
don't
not
know.
age well. This movie kind of sucks.
Well, I don't disagree.
Yeah, it
Like,
just didn't age well.
From a kids movie standpoint, it just doesn't have a lot of things that like stick out to me. That's like, oh, this scene's coming. I love this scene.
Yeah. Like, to me, I watched this movie, like, Goonies took over from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watched this movie before Goonies, though.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started watching Goonies, like, when I was 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a little bit before that. That's why I think it's like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think I watched this movie at a really young age because think about what kids' movies, live action, were out around that time. Pete's Dragon?
That's also kind of weird.
It is also kind of weird and kind of dark and, like, weird stuff going on. So, like, everything was kind of dark back then.
Sure. It's dark ages.
So, yeah.
Do you know anybody who loves this movie? That's like, this is an amazing
I feel like
movie.
Gen Xers, I'm going to put you on blast right now.
Ooh.
I think you guys love this movie.
You low-key love it?
I do. I think they all love it. They're all like, oh, NeverEnding Story. What a great film. I think, and they probably haven't seen it for 20 years, but in their mind's eye,
Yeah,
they think like,
remember.
oh, that movie was so money.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Falkor. That dragon monster,
dragon was so
that luck dragon's so cool.
crazy.
Yeah, I think they love everything about it.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite parts were like when we'd flip back to Bastion eating his like little apple or little sandwich and like putting the blanket over his head because it's like, oh, that's fun. That's good read. You know, you kind of feel like getting into a good read with a candle.
You
It's
even
cute.
said like, oh, what a great day. At one point in the movie, it was like when he looked like he was gonna leave school, but then he goes back up and when it got dark.
Yeah.
You were like, wow, what a great day.
Just sat and just read my book in the attic all day. That was so fun.
That was an awesome day. Any actors that you would just like murder and take out of the film completely, recast?
I mean, it's not. There's no point. Like you put somebody else in it, it's like it's still weird and
What
the
if?
characters aren't cute and
Yeah.
yeah. I just
What if
wasn't-
Sir Ian McKellen was the advisor guy at the very beginning who comes out and talks?
Okay, so
I think that would help.
I've got like 30 seconds there. I mean, honestly, if you're talking about like scenes that are interesting to me, that's probably the most. Just like looking around at all the crazy characters
yeah,
that they
the weird
made.
creatures.
I
that they
would
had
watch
everywhere.
that part again just to see like the makeup and
Yeah. multiple face
Animal.
people.
Yeah, the multiple face people were.
The guys who were all
trippy.
heads.
Yeah.
They were just heads and
Just
limbs.
a giant head. Just,
yeah, there's
just a
some weird
stone
shit
head.
going on at the beginning.
Elephant.
And also, like, kind of scary.
Kind of scary.
These creatures are kind of scary.
Kind of scary, which is probably why I never saw this.
Yeah.
It's like a little.
I can
too
imagine
scary.
your mom walking in. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yuck.
Shut this off.
What are you watching?
What is
this?
this?
Guy scary.
Oh, gross. Did you have anything on your list that you would like to discuss?
Let me peek. I think I got all of my takes. Hot and cold. OJ and egg. Blah. See, it is a little kid, just like Fred Savage. The George O'Keeffe painting. They killed the horse. And then it took me about halfway through to figure out that those boys weren't the same boys. I think I got those were my notes.
Boys, not the same.
Not the same. Note to self, not the same boy.
Well, let's get into your hold on, I'm going to get out of my docs because it took away my score as well. Let's get into your Rachel meter.
Sure. A boy who needs a friend finds a world. Just kidding. A little sad, a little scary, a little German. I give this movie a 27%.
Oh my gosh, that's really low. Shit,
Mhm.
I had this and it took my Google Doc is gone.
Oh no.
So I got to rescore it.
Well, what would you give
All
it?
right,
Just
kill
off
time.
the top of your head right now, not even looking at what's on
Like where
there.
it
You
would
can
be
change
placed
it later because I'll be honest, I had to score it. I forgot to give a rating and review for this, so I was doing this on the fly.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been there and done
And
that.
so I don't know what 27 is, where it's at.
Oh, I can tell you.
I might have to tweak it a little bit.
I can tell you.
Yeah,
Hold on.
tell
You
me
tell me if it sounds like it's between this. I'm pulled up on it right now.
Okay, yeah, 27%.
Okay, so 27%.
Yeah,
This
where
is
am I at?
tied with Nightmare on Elm Street,
Oh, okay.
and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
It's
Below Teen Wolf
Mm-hmm.
and above Starship Troopers.
Mm-hmm. That feels perfect.
Okay.
Honestly,
27?
I love it.
27 it
It's
is.
a little bit scary. It's with my other scary movies.
So I am going to give this a 46%. It's 1% higher than Girl Interrupted.
Why?
It's better than Girl Interrupted.
It is not.
It is. I would rather watch this than Girl Interrupted.
Would you?
Yeah, because your movie was 2 hours and 2.5 hours, and my
Only
movie
because
was
we
an hour
had
and a half.
commercials. It was probably faster than that.
No, your movie was legitimately 2 hours and
But
20 minutes.
it will feel faster when you take the commercials out.
Yeah, like a little bit, but still too long.
Those
That movie
commercials
was
are
like a
long.
half hour too long. And I didn't like the acting that much, and I
Mhm.
thought that the story was kind of a mess.
Mm.
So I think the book is probably awesome, and I thought the movie wasn't that great. So yeah, I'm sticking to it. 46%. It's better than Girl Interrupted
Mm-hmm.
and tied with Legally Blonde. And that, to me, that's perfect. That is right on.
Oh, I know there.
Below
I
Notting
know
Hill.
we've defined.
I thought about tying it with Notting Hill, and I was like, no, I can't in good conscience
That's
say I would rather see this again
yeah,
than Notting Hill.
no way.
But I would, like, if you asked me this or Legally Blonde, I'm like, depends on my mood.
Depends on the mood.
Don't
That is
really want to
wild.
watch either.
Well, yeah. Anytime you get to the 50s and below, it's like, do I have to? Is it just on? And I just catch like 10 minutes of it and feel like, okay, that was good enough for now.
I feel good. Feel
That's kind
satiated.
of what that is for me. It's like, I'll watch a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Okay, commercial. I'm going to change it.
Well, I'm glad you got to see that weird shit.
Yeah, that was some weird shit. Now, I have some weird shit for
Oh,
you.
no. We're in, like, the doldrums right now.
What do you mean, the doldrums?
Well, Girl
This is
Interrupted
amazing.
and
This
a
is the
NeverEnding
best
Story
stuff.
into this next one. I'm pretty
The
sure I
hot
already know what it is.
takes, the crazy things.
Yeah,
like,
there are a lot of hot takes.
the doldrums. No way. That's not the right. That's not the right vibe at all.
All right, hit me with it. What is it?
So, well, a lot of people know about your movie, this NeverEnding Story. That's
Yeah,
like
yep.
recognizable. Some people do. Some people think it's Labyrinth, but it's not.
Common mistake.
Common misconception. I've got a doozy for you.
Okay.
So I've got this movie that I watched a lot as a child,
Yeah.
like biannually, probably.
Biannually.
Yeah, is that twice a year?
Yeah, it's twice a year,
yeah,
baby.
at least twice a year, probably more. And I don't know why. And we're going to have to watch it to find out why I watched it so much.
Okay.
So,
So this is more of an investigation on why you were the way you were?
yeah, a little bit. So this will be really interesting for me.
Okay.
And hopefully you get a kick out of it too.
Okay.
And audience, this is also for you because my hunch is that none of y'all have seen this movie either. So let me know.
Sounds like
let me know.
the audience is gonna be the downloads are gonna be off the chart for this one.
I get ready.
These are the moments we're glad we didn't accept sponsorship. Just so you know, like we couldn't do this
I'm
if we
gonna
had
crash
sponsors.
and burn it right here, right now. Everything we've worked for is crashing and burning. In this next episode, we're gonna watch a little film I like to call Rockadoodle. Get excited.
So who'd you think was hotter?
Astro.
Okay, so who'd you think was hotter between the daughter in Jetsons or the teenage son in Dinosaurs?
Jetson's daughter, for sure. I can't even picture what the teenage sons and dinosaurs looks like. Other than he's a giant puppet.
Yeah, but he's got a cool starter jacket.
Oh, he has a starter jacket on?
Yeah, don't you remember? He's got kind of like spiky
remember what he
hair,
looks
but it's like
like.
actual spikes, but it looks like hair.
The Dinosaurs. That was a show that I would get in trouble watching.
Me
sometimes.
too. Why?
It was one of those
were our
mom
parents
shows
like,
where they're like, oh, yeah.
I don't like this.
Must have said things like "shut up" or some language in
But
it.
the funny thing is, like, not the mama was like the big quote and all the baby stuff.
Yeah, but the baby hit the dad with a frying pan.
Here's the son.
Oh, he's smoking.
Yeah, you like look at those kicks.
Look at those fresh kicks.
Yeah,
And his little varsity jacket there. That's cute.
Yeah, he's a jock.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Total
you'd
jock.
like him. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
So you pick the Dinosaurs.
I picked the Dinosaurs.
All right, I picked Judy.